Welcome to a new video. Let's take a look at some new malicious compliance stories. The first story is called, You Have Places to Be? So I was working as a manager at Thai fast food place. Now when I say fast food, I just say this because we were fast getting you your food. Everything was fresh and cooked right before your eyes, at amazing prices. When I say fresh, I really mean it. I have never seen any vegetables getting a little brown or wilted, it was always freshly cut every 2 hours. We also did our noodles ourselves. As for the price range, for example, a portion of roasted duck, about 300 grams of roasted duck meat along with fresh vegetables and rice was like €6. A portion of barmi goreng was like €5. So you can imagine around lunchtime the place was packed. We still got you your order in about 30 minutes. We only had 3 woks, so we could only make 3 meals at once, except when someone ordered 2 of the same. So in comes this angry lady, with a sourpuss face. She orders 3 dishes. I told her it will be roughly 30 minutes since we are packed. That got her mad already, complaining right away, I got places to be, you better get me my food in 30 minutes. About 20 minutes later she comes to the counter and starts shouting, the guy who took my order said my food would be ready in 30 minutes. I am waiting for almost an hour already. Because, of course, she would not recognize the little peon getting her order again, who has time to look at lolly food slaves when you got places to be and need your food. So I put on my nicest retail grin and said, lady, you're ordered 20 minutes ago. I know that because I was the one who took your order, how dare you argue with me? I'm a paying customer. Get your manager, right now. Of course, she wants the manager. But what she doesn't know is that I am the manager. So I leave through the back door, come back to her, this time without my white kitchen apron, and say, you wanted to speak to the manager, again with my best retail smile. Yes, I have ordered my food nearly an hour ago. And when I friendly asked how much longer it would take, your employee was rude to me, and he tried to argue that I would not be waiting that long. I thought to myself, woman, are you serious? You are not recognizing me again? And then lie to my face about what happened? So I decided to give her enough rope to hang herself before I told her it was me both times. I am so sorry. How can we make this up to you? I must say we pride ourselves on good customer service, so I can't really imagine how this happened. At that moment, the lady at the preparation bar next to her must have realized what was going on, and started giggling. Well, I don't have time to wait that long. I want the meals for free. I want you to fire that employee. And I want my meals delivered since I have places to be. At that moment I had enough. Lady, you placed your order with me. And it was about 20 minutes ago. Not almost an hour. Plus you shouted at me, and were rude, while I was really patient and tried to help you. Then you demand a manager, do not recognize me, lie to me about what happened, and make ridiculous demands to be compensated for something that never happened? I knew the owner very well. It was not some chain restaurant, but a family-owned place, with their own food and everything. And I knew he would have my back for this. So I knew I could do this. Of course, this made the lady extra angry. I want my money back and I will never eat here again. Then suddenly, the giggling lady next in line chimes in. Hey lady, you ordered your food right before me. So I know for a fact you are waiting maybe 25 minutes if that. The place is packed. And they told you it would be 30 minutes. So stop whining. We are all hungry and want our food. We all got places to be. And none of is rude, none of us lies and tried to make a scene over nothing, we all wait patiently. So what makes you think they want you to come back, and be an insufferable person again? God, how often did I want to say this to customers? While she rimmed the lady a new one, the most perfect timing happened. The food of the angry lady arrived. So I gave the lady back her money and turned to the other customer. So, you ordered X, right? Well, since this lady does not want her food, after all, I give you Y and Z on the house. The angry lady first made a really good fish impression, which then turned into the biggest catbutt face you could imagine. I worried it might start to suck us all into it, that is how bad it was. And then, she simply stormed out. After she was out, I grinned at the other lady and said, you have no idea how often I wanted to tell this to a customer like her, I am going to pay for your meal on top of the free food, you really deserve it. From then on we had a new regular. And the angry lady actually held her promise to never return. The next story is called, You Think You Know More. So, a little background. I work for a logistics, packaging and warehousing company that delivers freight all over the world. We have lots of customers who have issues with getting material in time to keep their production going. And when there is an issue with the material, they usually listen to us, since we know how to get something from A to B quickly. We have one customer who forgot to order material and now was close to shutting down his production. Fortunately, the supplier who was in another country had material on hand to deliver. We notified the customer that we could get material to him before shutting down his production, but we would have to ship this immediately, so as to not delay his production. Now, since our company understands the needs of our customers, we usually just ship material if we know it is needed and we can't wait for the approval. This is the exchange that happened with me and their logistics manager. Since this material is also in another country, with a time difference of about 8 hours, you don't really have a lot of time to talk to people to get things moving. On the first day, the logistics manager of the company sent an email and said, "I need dimensions, weight and also some quotes, so I can make a decision on how we want to move this. I can try to get you that, but because you need it in a few days and because of customs and the time difference, we really need this to move immediately. I don't care. I need quotes and also want to quote this myself." "Okay, I will ask out the other office if they can provide that." I talked this out the other office in the night, and we made the decision to ignore the logistics manager and just fly it because a shutdown in production would cost them thousands per hour. The next day, the logistics manager asked again, "Do you have quotes for me?" "Sorry, I don't, because of the time constraints that I explained to you yesterday. We shipped this already." "What do you mean, you shipped this?" "I need quotes before I make a decision. As I explained yesterday. If I had waited for quotes, we would have lost 1 day. You would have made a decision, let us know a few hours after our other office and the supplier are already gone. Then, to do customs and a flight plus customs here at destination would have taken another 2 or 3 days. Your production would have been minimum be halted for 1 to 2 days. We had no other choice but to ship immediately." So, on day 4 they had their parts at the plant, but the logistics manager was not getting the freight costs approved, which means we were not going to get paid. I then got a call from their purchasing department. They are actually great. "Hey, I have this purchasing order request on my desk and my logistics manager is telling me you never gave him any quotes. I'm sorry, but without quotes, I cannot approve this cost. Hey, here is the situation. Your logistics manager screwed up and was going to shut down your production because he has no clue how international freight and customs works. If we had listened to him, he would have shut you down. We decided to ignore him because of that, and here is our email correspondence." I sent over a mail with all the emails attached, even one where he said we should have shipped FedEx or UPS, which would have taken over a week to deliver. The purchasing manager was looking through the emails and laughing. He said, "I understand. I will push this order through, but from now on, just do what he says, even if you know we will shut down." Okay, so, just the following week, we then had the same issue again, with some other material. We gave him quotes which took 1 day and let him make a decision, not being completely malicious. We even warned him we need an answer immediately, so he would not have any problems. He finally gave us an answer by the morning of the next day. This meant we had lost 2 days already. Then we had to do the customs clearance at the origin, which takes another day. Day 3, the material goes to the airport the next day. Day 5, it arrives at the destination airport, and since it's the weekend, no customs clearance till Monday. The logistics manager has already shut his production down by this point. Monday customs clearance, we get pulled in for customs inspection, more delays. Parts get finally delivered to them on day 8 at the end of the day. His production has been down for 2 days already and they are way behind. After this incident, we all get pulled into a meeting with the plant manager, logistics manager, and purchasing manager to explain the mess up that happened. The logistics manager tried to blame us for everything and says we took too long. Luckily, I have everything in writing, informing him what will happen if we do it his way. We get dismissed and logistics manager gets reamed by then plant manager. From then on out, he hasn't questioned us since, and when we tell him it needs to be done a certain way, he accepts it. The last story is called, "Don't Make Life Easier for the Client." As an editor at an engineering firm, my job was to check spelling and grammar, format documents, and check for consistency between cited references and the bibliography, etc. A big client had their own formatting template, which required me to check multiple extra items for large documents, which were about as interesting to me as drawing paint. One of these extra items was verifying the number of line breaks before every heading and subheading, a different number of line breaks for each heading level. Headings and subheadings are used to organize text into chapters, subchapters, sub-subchapters, and so forth. Reports for the big client involved multiple authors, and none of them could be trusted not to alter the number of line breaks before a heading after I checked it. And so this story begins with the opposite of malicious compliance. I call it beneficent deviation. I programmed the headings and subheadings to include the appropriate amount of space automatically. While I was at it, I automated the amount of space between paragraphs. This saved the client money on me and their own editors, who always double-checked my work. It was also Americans with Disabilities Act compliant, saved time, reduced risk of error in formatting, and removed an unnecessary step. Also, not having to count line breaks allowed me to focus on more important aspects of the document and deliver quality results. This system worked flawlessly for about a year, and I never got any complaints. Until the day I forgot to turn off track changes. While I always kept track changes on for editing, I typically turned it off when formatting, to make the document less cluttered. Unfortunately, the big client saw all those line breaks marked as removed. A coworker informed me about this. The big client noticed you took the line breaks out of their document. Is that right? Well, yes. But the spacing is the same. I automated it. What do you mean? I mean, if you print one copy using the line breaks in their version and print one copy with the built-in spacing in my version, it will look exactly the same. There is literally no difference, except that it saves time and effort for people editing the document. Well, the client didn't understand that. They complained about the unnecessary rework you created, as they had to put hundreds of spaces back in the document. Wait. Did they put them back in? Manually? If they had simply done a global search for a paragraph mark and replaced it, this could have been fixed in 10 seconds, which is how I removed the extra line breaks, to begin with. Instead, someone went through the over 300-page document pressing the Enter key after every paragraph and counting outline breaks before headings and subheadings. Yes. They want you not to change their template anymore. Please be sure to use the one they provided. Okay. If that's what you want. Q. Malicious compliance. Since then, I have used the big client's exact template. As the big client keeps their template in a file system I don't have access to, I make my coworkers send me the latest and greatest every time before I start work, just in case anything has changed. It never does. And, as a bit of petty revenge, I leave counting line breaks up to the big client's editors, who seem to enjoy unnecessary work. I wish I could say there was a big payoff where one of the big client's editors revolted, berated their higher-ups and decided to adopt my template. But nothing like that happened. What I do know is that every hour an editor spends checking line breaks is money out of the big client's pocketbook. The money they could have saved by letting me use my workaround to their stupid rule. And, if big client is ever asked to go Americans with Disabilities Act compliant, that's a lot of line breaks they will need to manually delete. I never touched a client template again. As the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.